Hi, everybody. This is Anthony Dupree with Corsic Marketing. I'm here with Miss Queen Thompson. She's running for the County Commissioner of District 4. That's the east side of Charlotte, right?
Yes.
Okay, east side of Charlotte um, for May 2018. That's May 8th, 2018 is our preliminary voting. And we also have early voting for April 19th and 20th. So people make sure that you come out to those stands and polls to support Miss Queen Thompson. And today we're basically going to give an explanation about who Miss Queen is, like how I got to meet Miss Queen and how she basically got into her role as wanting to run for county commissioner. So the first thing we wanted to do is ask, who is Miss Queen? Why do you want to run for District 4 County Commissioner Charlotte Mecklenburg?
Well, I have a number of reasons I want to run.
Mm-hmm.
Number one reason is that I ran for school board for 3 previous elections.
Okay.
And I'm very concerned with the labels that our schools have. All of the schools that are schools of color.
That's right.
Are rated as failing and low performing. So the message is going to our children is that they are not as capable as children who live in South Charlotte and in the northern part of the county.
Mm-hmm.
So we're rating them as failures. But there are some schoolhouse secrets that many of our community leaders just simply don't know about schools.
And that's the thing. Like, I didn't know about some of these secrets that basically these other politicians and even officials that are stuck underneath government are getting paid for. Ms. Queen has basically explained to me how not just companies that are working with school systems, mental health systems, they're basically profiteering off of the failure of the dismantling of a community. They start with what's used as the ghetto house effect or Luciferian effects in the black and the ethnic communities, which, to keep it honest, is one of the most used strategies to break down a community in order for a rule to be placed over top the people said. Something that we wanted to know is what kind of keywords would you use as far as the role of county commissioner that will make you stand in front of your opponents?
Well, one of the things, some people believe that we really will profit by having a segregated Charlotte. That's what the majority of the people want.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that's true. And I think where we are now in our state, we've had people who have been foes of democracy, foes of the Constitution,
Right.
have resegregated schools intentionally. And they think that this is going to make life better for them and for the community. It will not. Once you have to put your hands to hold down a group of people, that means you're not free yourself. You're not free to move and to thrive. Will businesses come to Charlotte when they hear that it has a reputation of being the most segregated school system in North Carolina and perhaps the nation? Do you think companies are going to want to move and settle in East Charlotte? No. They want to go where there are successful schools, where there's a thriving economy. And school failure is a major issue.
Yeah.
But a lot of us don't get it. We just going along, we singing, and we are just oblivious to schools are one of your most important entities because schools train a workforce for tomorrow.
Okay.
And when they're not doing their job, that means employment is going to be down. It means that these young people who don't have diplomas or who have worthless diplomas will be in that criminal justice system. So it makes it where I'm not safe, you're not safe,
right.
No one's safe until everybody is having a piece of the pie.
I understand. So basically what you're saying is instead of retrograding and staying in a comfortable place as the city has been, we basically need to step it up and break the threshold.
We have to step it up. And this really what it's about is calling an alarm. Calling an alarm to our community.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't wake up, we're
bad.
going to be found ourselves in another form of slavery. Some of us believe, that's you can't put us back in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
You're kidding yourself. There's economic lynching. When you can't get jobs, when you can't live in certain places, then that is a form. Or when you're in this prison system and you got a record, and that record will follow you for the rest of your life, that is the new slavery. That's the new Jim Crow. And our people don't understand that. They think they are playing a game with the man.
Yeah.
That they are somehow going to trick him into being honest and being fair to us. And I'm not saying men collectively, but individuals that are really against the Constitution. They don't believe in democracy. And they know what education can do. It gives us that great equalizer. When you're educated and you understand and you're working and thriving, they know what education can do for our community.
These parts of the campaign that we're running now is critical. It's crucial. There's a lot of people that have never run before, as I guess a lot of the newcomers. But sitting here, Miss Queen Thompson actually has 50 years of experience in the public school systems, as well as social and economic standards for social work here in the area. Another question that I wanted to ask was to break down, I guess, how you see yourself in this campaign. What's been fun about it? Like,
I call myself a community educator, and I'm an advocate for justice. I'm an advocate for fairness. Okay. And so this gives me a platform because you have forums after forums. Mm-hmm. You have questionnaires that you have to fill out.
Yeah.
And I love expanding because, believe it or not, there are people who've even worked in the school system that don't know that we have a failing school system.
That's true.
We have a lot of millennials who we paved the way. So you would have the school and the opportunities. Mm-hmm. And then you tell me, Ms. Thompson, I don't believe in racism. I don't think it exists. Mm-hmm. Then you tell me it's all about money. It's more than about money.
Yeah.
It's about race.
Yeah.
When you see how the voting districts have changed, just so you won't have a real voice in our government, that's about race. When you see that they're building jails for our young people based on fourth grade, mm-hmm. and you don't get it, that the more jails they build, the more likely your child or someone you love is going to be in that system. Yeah. When they're sentencing 3 times and you're out, and they're sentencing young people for 50 and 60 years, because anytime you want to make a nation weak, the first thing you do is destroy the men.
That's right.
Now, I get in a lot of arguments. A lot of people blame black parents. Mm-hmm. They say black parents didn't do their job. But a black parent is not responsible when your child is sitting up in a classroom with no qualified teachers. That's not the black child's fault, and that's not the black parent's fault. See, when God gave us the opportunity to get an education, mm-hmm. it was for us to reach back and not blame the people.
Right.
God blessed us to get an education so we could serve, and to build a bridge for the next generation.
So is this a form of civil rights that you think
it is? Absolute. They're not trying. They have.
Okay.
They're not trying. It's in every state in the union. Mm-hmm. Not one African American school system that has predominance of African. All of them are failing. How is that possible? When you think somebody in California or somebody in New York would have successful, it's deliberate. The only people who don't know it is our people. We don't realize what we are up against. And we have kept doing the same thing. People come and do fancy speeches and they make all this jargon, but at the end of the day, they sit there and they go along with what has happened. We're 50 years. 50 years. And are we any better off? And my thing is, no, we are not.
Right.
Yes, we had 50 years of growth, 50 years of education, 50 years to do anything we wanted to do, but we are forgetting the most vulnerable, the poor and our children.
That's right.
The most vulnerable. So
because a lot of people don't understand that even if you're poor, like you said, that part shouldn't disdain a man. It should be like the part where a man can actually break through a certain goal. Being poor doesn't mean as much as I guess our society puts it.
Well, when I found out, they have a way of labeling a whole community as being high poverty. You can live in a $700,000 house, and if you're in East Charlotte, you consider high poverty. And they're giving children groceries. And so many people think, oh, that's so nice. They're giving them groceries to take home 3 times a week. It's a mental game. They're getting these children to depend on the government to feed them.
Yeah.
So they're not learning how to plant a garden. They don't learn how to harvest. They don't even go outside. And what they're doing, they're working on the mind. And anytime the government wants to stop giving you that food, then what's going to happen? Our children are going to starve to death. Hitler did it in Germany. That's what happened to the Jews. And it's history. It's history. What is being done to us is a matter of history. And we need to understand that.
So, now, have you ever went to a debate where you felt like your opponent made you feel like you even had a longer standing and even a bigger position than county commissioner? So would you ever see yourself in a possible bigger seat or position than just county commissioner? Or would you want to see your message or your direction placed in a broader platform?
Where I'm going with all of this is to sound the alarm. We have had the Rip Van Winkle syndrome. We've been asleep. We've been naive. We have been very trusting. But it's time that we wake up. Wake up! Because if we don't wake up, we're going to find ourselves back in a form of slavery. And slavery really is when somebody controls where you go, controls where you live, controls your earnings. That's slavery. And there are many ways it's being committed, especially under our young people who do not have marketable skills to be in the job market. It's already going on. It's a new form of slavery. That's what I'm trying to sound the alarm. So right or wrong, but I'm on the county commissioner, as long as I have any resources left, that's what I'm doing. And I feel like I owe a debt. I owe a debt because I've been blessed. And I have children who are all college graduates. I don't have to do this. I do this because somebody has got to sound the alarm. We are heading the wrong way. And we're the only group who owns no wealth, who has no, because when you don't own land and minerals and oil, you don't own anything. Everything that gives you wealth comes from the earth. And that's something our children don't understand. I hear them say, I don't want to own a house. I don't want to own this. Then they will never be on their feet economically. So we got to do the talking to our young people. And I've had 50 years. I love teenagers. I love what they call so-called bad kids because it takes a lot of intelligence to really see and analyze. And I think
to see through their
right.
charades sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do. And so I get a lot of criticism because I like people. It takes courage and it takes real leadership to question the system. So I like those kind of people.
Okay.
And I think that that's what our emphasis will be. We need a wake up call for us to come together as a people. And if we don't come together, the system is going to take us down. A house that's divided cannot stand. And that's what we need to get across. A house that's divided cannot stand.
Yes, ma'am. That's it. All right, everybody. Remember, the polls are going to be open on April 19th, this Friday, coming up. Also, May 8th is your preliminary
Primary
election.
vote election day. And I hope to see you at the polls.
So, we're out. Anthony Dupree.
Queen Thompson, District 4, County Commissioner.
Have a great night.